Story 1. My best friend, 32F, pulled out of my 33F wedding and refuses to tell me why. How do I deal with the aftermath? This post isn't really about the situation itself, but more about handling the emotional aftermath, the feelings I don't want to feel. I'm getting married soon, and, as a childhood friend, I made the mistake of asking my best friend to be my wedding photographer. She was excited, and we had talked about it for years. She even offered to help with other aspects of the wedding prep. But sadly, 2 months ago, she pulled out. She said she needed space from me and refused to explain why. She claimed she wasn't going no contact, just that she couldn't handle things emotionally. And I'm left in the dark, not really understanding what this is. I found a new photographer, and I'm moving forward with the planning, of course. But there's this void in the celebration where I thought she would be. When she asked for space, I told her I would respect her wishes and be here when she's ready. But now, 2 months later, I'm still waiting, and that void is starting to feel like bitterness because I honestly wouldn't have done this to her. I feel stupid for still being upset, but it's hard to shake it off. What makes it worse is that when I asked her what was going on, she just told me I needed to respect her space and let it go. So, my question is, what do I do with these feelings? I just feel sad and don't know how to process it. I'd really appreciate any perspective from the outside. A quick update to clarify some things, as I've seen some repeating questions. She had mentioned before that she hated being a bridesmaid, and I genuinely tried to respect her preference. I just wanted her to be a part of the day in a way that she'd enjoy. The photos would have been done by the time the reception started, so it wasn't about her being there the entire time. No, I didn't ask for a discount or free photos. I believe in paying artists their worth, and that wasn't part of it at all. No, I'm not being a bridezilla. Our wedding is pretty small, and everything's been going smoothly up until this point. My sibling is actually my person of honor, so that's not a problem. No, my fiancé is not cheating on me with her, lol. I trust both of them completely, and that's what makes this whole thing hurt even more. Comment 1. It's been plenty of time. Reach out to her and ask her what it is. Emphasize that her friendship is what's the most important to you, and you want to make it right between you two. Be prepared that you may not like at all what she has to say. If you truly want this friendship back, listen to her without judgment or excuses or even worse, lashback. If you didn't have any indication from her that it had anything to do with your behavior toward her, it may be about your groom. That would explain why she doesn't want to talk to you or even attend the wedding. Comment 2. Do you have any mutual friends that might be able to shed light on it? If not, I'd just send her a genuine message saying that you miss her, you respect her boundaries, but that you want to remind her that you're here, you're still thinking of her with no malice, and that the thought of her not being any part of this day makes you sad, but you respect it. And that when she's ready, you'd like to know what's going on with her, as her bestie. Finally, make sure she knows that she's welcome as a guest, regardless of what happened before. That's how I'd go about it, more or less. Will your family or fiancé make her uncomfortable about it if she attends but still hasn't given an explanation? Does she have a history of avoidance, depression, and/or anxiety? Comment 3. It sounds like it started to sink in that she wouldn't be attending as your guest, she'd be attending as the help. If she's your best friend, wouldn't it have been more appropriate to have her as a maid/matron of honor, bridesmaid, etc.? She might have been fine with this in theory, but it seems like in practicality she felt slightest as your friend. I own 3 culinary businesses. As a rule, I'm not catering a friend's anything, ever. Either I'm there as a guest or you don't want me there. Don't mix business with friends/family. Story 2. My husband, 32M, charged at me 27F and said, "At least I didn't hit you. Is this grounds for divorce?" The first time I seriously questioned my relationship with my husband was during an argument. Something switched in him, and he came at me like he was going to hit me. I instinctively backed away when he got too close, and thankfully, he stopped. In the moment, I blamed myself, thinking maybe I pushed too hard or said too much, and that maybe I was in the wrong. The next time I started to doubt things was on our honeymoon. We were at the beach, and he was blatantly checking out other women. When I confronted him about it, he just shrugged and said, "I'm just looking for my next wife." I was stunned. We went back to the hotel, and I ended up crying in the bathroom, feeling humiliated and hurt. Then, there was the day after Christmas. We had just learned that I was miscarrying. As we were leaving the hospital, he was checking out the nurses. He even said to me, "The nurses here are so pretty. They should be on a TV show." I tried to let it go because we were both dealing with so much, but it still stung. Fast forward a couple of months, and we were fighting again. I suggested that maybe counseling could help him, but when I brought it up, he got up and charged at me. This time, I stood my ground. I shoved him away, handed him my wedding ring, and told him to leave. I screamed that we were done. I think he knew if he left, I wouldn't take him back, so he stayed. During our conversation afterward, he actually said to me, "At least I didn't hit you." In that moment, I saw red. How could that be his standard? I told him that if he ever hit me, I would take pictures, post them on Facebook, send them to his friends and family, and destroy his life. I made it clear that as the breadwinner, he would never see a penny of my money. I don't know if my words hit home, but part of me wonders if he's truly internalized them. It's been almost a month since that confrontation, and whenever I'm not with him, I have serious doubts about staying. But whenever we're together, I still want to make things work. I feel torn between the person he's shown me and the person I thought I married. What should I do? Comment 1. Damn girl, find your spine. Stop blowing things off. Stop ignoring all the red flags. Stop giving him a break. You need to leave. You need to file for divorce. He is not the one. He will end up beating you. Comment 2. You don't have kids and he doesn't love you. He likes to make you cry. Why are you with a man who likes to say cruel things to you and make you cry? Why should you have to keep putting up with him? Can you answer these questions? Comment 3. With all of those, at least I didn't hit you. Tight minutes only a matter of time. Sorry, but it's not that he didn't want to do it. It's that he didn't want to suffer the consequences of it. I know it sounds awful to hear, but as someone who has been in an abusive relationship, I'll tell you that when any sort of threatening behavior that's meant to keep you in line starts, it's only going to get worse. Comment 4. Violence, or threats of violence, and verbal cruelty/humiliation have never been part of my and my wife's love language. I feel you are just too young to settle for this. Story 3. My F33 ex M34 is acting oddly after a breakup. Can someone help me understand it? I was in a relationship with my partner for 3 years. We got engaged and planned to get married, but when I got pregnant, we decided to postpone the wedding until after the baby arrived. We were both excited about the pregnancy and started making plans to build a home for our growing family. However, just before I was due to give birth, I found out he'd been talking to another woman behind my back. I overheard them on the phone when he thought I was at a doctor's appointment. The conversation lasted a while, and he was being flirty and friendly with her. At one point, he casually mentioned that we had broken up, even though we hadn't. He also talked about our arguments, but they were completely fabricated, and he brought up a time they met at a cafe and another time they drank wine together. I was devastated. I wanted to break up and leave before the baby arrived, but I went into labor 3 weeks early, so I didn't have time to make any decisions. After I gave birth, we continued living together to care for the baby, but I was too exhausted to move out and handle everything on my own. I told him it was only temporary and that I would move out in a couple of months. He tried to convince me to stay, admitting he'd been talking to the other woman but insisting that nothing physical had happened and that he had cut off all communication with her. A couple of months later, I made plans to move out. At first, he was against it, but then he asked me to only take the essentials with me and stay a few days, hoping I would change my mind. I took what I needed and moved into a new place with the baby. After I left, he started being overly supportive, saying maybe it was a good idea for us to spend some time apart. He thought I would miss him and come back after a few weeks, repeatedly telling me I would be back soon. He even asked me to pack up all my things but not unpack the boxes, claiming I would eventually return and we could redecorate the apartment together, something he had never wanted to do before. I moved to my new apartment, and while I was settling in, I asked him to look after my cat for a few days, since I was busy unpacking and taking care of the baby. I told him I would bring the cat over once I got more settled. But then he rushed me, insisting I take the cat back sooner because he couldn't find the time to give it enough attention. It's been a few days since I moved out, and he keeps saying how we'll fix everything and that I'll come back soon. He talks a lot about redecorating the apartment, and then out of nowhere, he mentions that he might sell it. I was surprised and asked where he'd live since the house he's building won't be ready for at least a year. He said he might rent a place, and when I asked why, he simply responded, "Why not? I don't plan on getting back together with him, but I'm just trying to make sense of his behavior. Can someone help me understand what's going on here?" Comment 1. He thinks you're going to struggle and come crawling back. He wants the reality of solo parenting there to hit you, with a cat to add to the pressure while you adjust. He wants you to fail, and he expects you to fail. It's that simple. And when you adjust, find your new normal, and settle into a comfortable life, he will likely get angry because you're neither struggling nor crawling back, and he will likely do petty shit to make your life harder for spite. Just know, you will be fine. You can do this. You don't need this man. You'll be grand. Comment 2. Girl, I hate to say this, but if he wanted you to take all your stuff, it sounds like he plans to be with other women while you're gone. If he's so convinced you'll be back, he would probably try to convince you to keep some stuff there. He wants no trace of you so he can entertain other women without them being suspicious. He's gross. Comment 3. I think he's checked out of your relationship. Sorry to say that, but he is probably going to sell his apartment and move in with the other woman. Seek immediate legal advice and be prepared. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.